Ever wish you could trade crypto without, those big centralized exchanges? We've all seen the headlines, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes you wonder if there's a better way, and that's where SourceSwap comes in.
Exactly. So, THORSwap, it's all about decentralization and putting users back in control of their crypto. But how exactly does it work? And what does it mean for the future of, well, finance in general? That's what we're diving into today.
It's a really fascinating space, and I think what's key here is understanding this idea of DeFi, decentralized finance. THORSwap is a great example of how this technology is being put into practice.
So let's talk about what makes THORSwap different. When we talk about decentralized exchanges, and how is that different from, say, Coinbase or Binance, the ones most people are familiar with?
Right. Well, with those traditional exchanges, they're acting as the middleman. You're essentially trusting them with your funds. But with THORSwap, this is a platform that is all about control, right? It's about giving you control of your crypto like you've never had before. So if that's something you're interested in, stick around.
It's a hot topic in the DeFi space right now, and I think a lot of that buzz is about, well, yeah, the control, but it's also about security and just generally how smooth the user experience is. So let's unpack all of that.
Exactly, exactly. So I guess let's just jump right in. Imagine this. You've got some Bitcoin, but you're kind of, you've got your eye on some Ethereum, right? Now, normally you'd head to a centralized exchange to make that swap, right? But what if? What if there was a different way? A way to do it without having to rely on that third party?
And that is where THORSwap enters the picture.
Mm,
It basically acts as like this portal to something called THORChain, which is really the kind of the engine room behind all of this.
okay.
And THORSwap lets you use it.
So we got THORChain and THORSwap. What's the difference?
Yeah, it can be a little confusing.
Yeah.
So think of THORChain, kind of like the actual network, right?
Yeah.
The rails. And then THORSwap is like the train that lets you travel on those rails.
I like that. I like that. So it's giving us access to this decentralized network, which then means that we're the conductors. We're the ones in the driver's seat, right?
Precisely.
No more centralized exchanges, no more worrying about, all those horror stories you hear, the hacks, the freezes, you name it.
Right, exactly. It all ties into this fundamental idea in the crypto space.
Yeah.
Not your keys, not your coins, right?
Right.
THORSwap is designed with that in mind. It's about putting you in control.
Yeah, and you know what's amazing is that it doesn't sacrifice user experience for all that control and security. Like THORSwap is designed to make these cross-chain swaps, which can sound very intimidating to people who are new to the space. It makes it straightforward, surprisingly so.
Yeah, it is really user-friendly.
Mm.
And I think one of the coolest things about THORSwap is that it lets you swap native assets. So you're trading actual Bitcoin for actual Ethereum.
Okay, so explain that.
What does that mean? It means you're not dealing with wrap tokens or any of that added complexity that can sometimes come with these kinds of swaps, right?
Right.
Which ultimately means faster transactions, more secure transactions. It's kind of a win-win.
So we've got simple, we've got secure. Are we missing anything? What about, 'cause you mentioned something before about providing liquidity. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so THORSwap is not just about, simple swaps. It also lets you become a liquidity provider if you want to kind of like level up your DeFi game, I guess you could say. And essentially what that means is you provide your crypto to the platform, and in return, you earn a share of the fees from every trade that happens on that platform.
So almost like earning interest.
Exactly. Yeah, you can think of it like that. You're earning passive income on your crypto by providing liquidity to this platform.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, last question before we wrap things up here, because I hear this come up a lot, and I know a lot of our listeners are probably wondering about it. We're talking about DeFi. We're talking about, these platforms. What's the deal with THORSwap and smart contracts?
Yeah, that's a really important point to clarify. THORSwap itself is not a smart contract. It's more like think of it as the interface, the user-friendly tool that allows you to interact with the THORChain protocol.
Okay, got it. Got it.
So it's kind of like your window into that world, so to speak.
So essentially what we're saying is THORSwap empowers you to really take control of your crypto. It lets you swap across different blockchains easily and securely, and you have complete control over your assets. And to top it all off, you can even earn some passive income on the side. Pretty amazing.
And it really gets you thinking, right, about what the future of finance could look like.
Yeah.
Because THORSwap and other platforms like it are really at the forefront of this movement towards a more decentralized, a more user-centric financial system, which is a pretty exciting thing to think about.
It is. It is. All right, deep divers, that'll be it for today.